How can we have peace in the Middle East when there's none at home? How can we have understanding in the land when there's none in the woman? And there's none in the man. How can we heal the wounds of the world if we cannot heal our own? And where does this peace on earth begin if not in the home? Where do we go now? Do we let the devil in, or do we get up and fight? Surely we know how to conquer all our fears, bring an end to the violence, bring an end to the tears. How can we heal the wounds of the world if we cannot heal our own? And where does this peace on earth begin if not in the home? Well, there's too much talk about it, and too many walk without it. Tell me, where is love?
Well, hello, my name is Randie Henderson. I am moderating tonight for the book club chapters 5 and 6 of We Are the Ones We Have Been Waiting For, of Alice Walker's novel, or book. I am moderating, and I am watching from Atlanta.
I'm Michelle Odom. I'm here in the Bronx tonight, Bronx, New York.
Welcome, Annalise and Paul. My name is Venita Walker, and I am in Hartford, Connecticut, actually Cromwell, Connecticut. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. This is Labeeb. I'm live here from Long Island, New York.
And my name is Georgette Moses, and I'm participating from Columbia, South Carolina, and I'm happy to see all the new faces here tonight.
Yes, I'm Annalise. I'm in Atlanta.
My name is Paul Chapman, and I am viewing from Atlanta as well.
We are reading We Are the Ones We Have Been Waiting For, Chapters 5, Crimes Against Dog, and Chapter 6, This Was Not an Area of Large Plantations. Okay, so the summary of Chapter 5 and 6. Alice Walker's Chapter 5 was a short but sweet chapter. In it, she reflects on her dog, Marley, and reflects on the things she has taught her. For example, we are not ourselves when we are mean, self-forgiveness, love, affection, and companionship, as well as the importance of these things. Chapter 6 is a much longer chapter and digs deep into human nature. In this chapter, she speaks a lot on healing, reflection of history, and overcoming the past in a healthy manner through meditation, education, and practice. Both chapters include some of Alice Walker's deepest reflections and emotions. These chapters were perhaps her most personal. Well, we only have a few more minutes, but I wanted to address one more question, really. Okay, so she says, we talked about this kind of, Michelle, when you brought it up. Maybe which one? Okay, so we'll just to end on a note, considering that last question was difficult. The last question in chapter 6 that I had She says, "What is my practice? What is steering this boat that is my fragile human life? Take some time to contemplate what sort of practice appeals to you." So my question was, what moves you? How do you get through life? What do you, as Alice Walker mentioned, practice? So not like in a sense of distraction, but like Georgette, no, not Georgette, Kim said, nourishment. What do you do? What do you practice for you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
I would
exercise.
like to,
I
huh?
exercise. I work out a lot. I mean, I just have always been that way. That helps me to relax myself. I do organic gardening. That helps me to relax myself. I read a lot about Taoism and philosophy that helps me relax myself. And I come to our book group, which helps me to relax myself.
Mhm.
That's what I do.
I
We'll
think
go. Was it Georgette or Kim? Oh,
And
okay.
I think for me, I'm looking for more ways, but some of the things that I do is I take my anger and find ways to give back to my community. Because as long as I'm part of the solution, it reduces my stress. So next week I'm going to an all-black school to give them a lesson in history. Just show up. The principal said I was welcome to come, so I'll come. And then once a month, my daughter and we cook food and serve food to people with AIDS and HIV. And I find that giving to people outside of myself really, really helps. But I also need to nurture my own soul, and that's more quiet time. And one of the things that I'm a strong advocate of is talk therapy, where whatever it is that's going on with you, to process it and talk it through so that it doesn't pop out inappropriately. So those are some of the things I do. And I write and I paint also. That's me.
Georgette?
wow. Um, most recently, it's just been meditation. Uh,
Hmm.
my mom was a well, we thought she was a Taurus, but she turned out to be a Gemini. Which happened on her original birthday, and so she could not control her anger. So I grew up watching her express herself in without regard to the consequences. So
Mm.
I have always tried to think before I strike. Okay, think about what the consequences of whatever I'm doing would be. And so, on that note, I also try to realize that any negativity that I'm faced with, I have to repel it. I can't let it have power over me, and so then I can do something more positive with whatever I'm feeling, whether it's negative, anger, or being trying to be more gracious or anything. Just try to turn it around and send something better out than what you've received. So
There you go.
that's
Mm-hmm.
all.
Annalise?
Well, I mean, usually the most obvious thing that I do or for myself is write. I mean, I write like for a living, but I also write for myself. I'll journal. I'm also a 12-stepper in the sense that I attend codependent anonymous meetings, if you've heard of those. I believe in actively working on myself and being in touch with um, my family of origin issues and going to a 12-step meeting, codependent anonymous. If you're not familiar with that, it's often associated with people who are like in relationship with someone who's an alcoholic, but also deeper than that, it codependency is in and of itself like an addictive, compulsive, behavioral type of response to, and often to people who are emotionally unavailable. And so anyway, so I do coda, we call it coda, once a week, and I've been working that very intensely in the last 6 months or so, but I've known about it and been in and out for 10 years. And that is a way for me to ground myself in some real guided thinking and in conversation with others. But I also cook. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy getting together with friends over food. I think food is a real equalizer. I mean, it brings people together of all different cultures and colors. And I also like jazz, straight ahead jazz. So I get together with friends. I go out. I have a very vibrant social life. Um, so I think in many ways, I guess you say all those things are kind of resisting something we talked about earlier, which was resisting those bad behaviors, even when they're, I'm exhibiting them, and I'm the one who's not acting out of the best of my humanity. So those are some of the things that I talk on the phone. I talk with friends too. I ask for their advice and guidance, and so those are the things that I do in order to come back to myself and also just replenish who I am and try to remind myself of who I am.
Thank you. Michelle, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. The only thing I want to add to what's been said already is that I enjoy long, slow walks through the woods. The woodsier, the better. And that really gives me a sense of peace and reminds me of the majesty and magic of nature, and helps me disconnect from the madness of the world. So.
What do you practice?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. I practice making my relationships better. I focus on family. I focus on my queen. Doing something positive in any of my relationships. That is what I practice when I need to do something to, I guess, escape.
Mm-hmm. And you, Randie?
I read. I am a reader. Obviously, because I cannot let go of this book club. Even though I'm struggling in traffic and I struggle to get home, but I read, and Mikey can tell you when I read, I don't hear anything. People think I'm rude, that I'm ignoring them, but I really, literally zone out. And that's the only way my mom allowed us to stay up as kids, is if we were reading. So we stayed up and we read. So it really, right now I'm into fantasy. Along with this book, I'm reading Game of Thrones, and it's really nice to not be like reading about people all the time. People are starting to bother me, like real life people. So I'm into more fantasy novels or science fiction. It's a little bit of distance right now. But
there's a woman that I met through BWB who has a in-person book club where they just read Octavia Butler.
And I'm reading her next. I'm reading her next. That's what I'm at the time. Also, I'm extremely family oriented. I'm at a time, I don't know, like I've left the country, I've left the state. I feel like right now is when you're supposed to be like living your life. I guess some people that means traveling and not being settled, but I really want to be here. So I'm learning how to be still. I'm practicing being still, being with family, not moving so much.
Okay. Did we get everybody?
We did.
Okay.
How can we heal if we cannot heal our own? And where does this peace on earth begin, if not in the home? Yeah.